Hey y'all, we are on the way to Tractor Supply today to pick up our supplies that we need for our chicks. We are going to be setting up our brood box soon, and we are just going to show you what that process looks like for us. Archer, are you excited?
Yeah. Baby, just go ahead.
Yep, our eggs that are in the incubator should be hatching by Monday, and the ship date for our other chicks that we ordered is also on Monday. So we will have lots of little chicks arriving soon. All right, so we are in the store now, and hopefully I don't forget anything. I know we need bedding, feeders, waters, chick starter, and we'll probably do the electrolytes again. Okay, so we're gonna start with our food, and I'm going with non-medicated starter grower. So grab a bag of that. That's a lot, but we have a lot of chickens coming. Okay, I changed my mind again, and I found an
I want
organic
to get
chick starter grower.
you guys.
So Archer's got our chick starter grower.
Yeah.
Archer, we're gonna need 2 bags of that.
Okay.
This one right here.
Good here.
Okay, these are the probiotics and electrolytes I used the last time that we had chicks. We didn't have any problems with losing any. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get a pack of each of these. Let's see. A pack of this to get these guys started. Okay, feeder, yes. Vet RX, just in case this stuff is really good. We had a chicken who had an infection last time, and this works really well. It's pretty much just essential oils, which is nice. So definitely we'll always have a little bottle of that on hand. Okay, so let's walk through what we've got so far. Our feeder, which I can put a quart jar on the top of that. Our water, which a quart jar will also attach to. Our starter grower, which is food. We've got 3 bags of that. Vet RX, in case anyone gets sick. Our electrolyte and probiotics. And chick grip. I'm at home in our garage, and I'm going to be setting up our new brood box for the chicks that we are hatching and the chicks that are on the way. And I'm just going to walk you guys through that. We've already taken a trip to the store, picked out our supplies, and yeah, I'm just going to show what this setup looks like now. Our tote that we're going to be using as our brood box, and pine shavings. Because we are in South Carolina and it's August, it is nearly 100 degrees outside right now, so I'm not really worried about the issue of keeping these chicks warm. They will either be on the screened-in porch, the backyard, or in the garage, all of which are nearly upper 90s. Which is another reason why we decided to go ahead and raise chicks now, so that we don't have to worry about them being super cold if we waited until the winter or until when we were moved or settled, and because we would also like to have eggs by the spring. So going ahead and getting our chicks now and starting now will help us knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. We don't have to necessarily worry about a heat source for these chicks, and they will be laying around the springtime. I was reminded to go with the flakes if you are getting shavings from Tractor Supply, they have a finer wood shaving, which I've been told is not really the best for chicks. They can ingest it and choke. So we did go with the white package and got the larger flakes for our brood box. Okay, so this is what the container looks like after the shavings have been added. There's about 1 or 2 inches across the entire bottom of the container. And from here, there's not really much else I have to do to make sure that this is ready. I'm gonna go ahead and get my jars, attach them to these feed and water containers, and I won't fill those until the chicks are here. Okay, so these are my quart mason jars. This is what their food and water is gonna go into. I'll just unscrew these tops, and these jars fit in the feeders and waterers. Just like that. So when the time comes, I'll put the food in the jar, flip it over, screw it on. This is where the chicks will eat from. So for now, I'm just gonna set that in there. And actually, you know what? I might set it up on something as to keep the bedding out of it. And then I'm just gonna do the same for the waterer. Pop that off. Screw the base on, and this is how they'll get their water. That goes there. Now, if it were cold out, if I were keeping these chicks inside, or I was worried about how I was going to keep them warm, I would need a heat lamp. They have little warmers for chicks that you can put in your brooder that the chicks can crawl underneath, but some source of heat in order to keep these chicks warm would be absolutely necessary if it were not as hot as it is outside right now. Our electrolytes, I'm just gonna set aside with our food, and when they arrive and I fill their water, this will go in the water for the first couple days. It's what I did last time, it worked well, so I'm just gonna stick with that. I found a scrap piece of wood, so what I'm gonna do is stick that right there and put this, maybe I'll put this in the middle so I can get around both sides. Put the water and feeder on top of them. That should help keep some of the pine shavings out and some of the waste out of the food and water. Okay, and from here, I don't really have to worry about these chicks flying out immediately, but to keep our dog out, to keep them in just a little bit, once they start trying to fly around, I'm going to have this chicken wire on top of the brooder. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up just to make sure it works. Now this piece is long enough. So I could come in here and trim this along the edge if I wanted to be super particular, and I might, but for right now, this is fine. So that piece stretches from one side to the other. Food, water, and all of the other things that I may need in the first few days are already on hand. So the next time you see this setup, there will likely be lots of little chicks in it.